Zenile dịrị Chineke, ọbasi dị elu Chukwu obiọma Chidi ebere Olisa nwa amara ka ụzọ anyị niile ọbara bụrụ ihe ka ihe ọbụla kpatara aka bụrụ sọ mma ka ụwa niile site n'ozi ọma anyị amụsị obi a nwere taa na ebighị ebi ọfọ ya gazie ise. All praises to Chi the Creator, the Supreme Being, Chi the Good, Chi the Merciful, Chi the Magnificent with grace. Let every one of our lives be light. Let all our acts be crowned with good. And may the world prosper from our ministry now and forever. So let it be. Amen.
And so it is. Divya Mama.
Oh my God.
I am so happy to be alive today.
Yes.
I am so grateful to the Most High.
Every day above ground.
Wonderful. Yes. What a wonderful opportunity to be walking amongst the living. I say that all the time, but I mean it from my heart.
You say
what a wonderful opportunity. A friend of mine yesterday was at the hospital all day long because her husband has cancer. The whole body has cancer in it. So we know, I'm praying for her for strength and asking the divine to please intervene on behalf of her and her family. And hopefully, miracles do happen. Miracles. We're not going to give up on him. We're not going to give up on him because he may just well bounce back. Who knows?
That's why we pray.
At the moment, we're really, really praying for him to be well and for the family to have the strength to, deal with whatever comes. And they should know that God, Chineke, is with them. So welcome, DBUD. How are you today?
I'm good. Every day above ground is a good day. There's a lot of chaos in the world right now, but we are focused on Chineke. And understand that from us to Chineke, there's no distance. Prayers are heard, listened to, and acted upon by the Most High. It's just a question of your own frame of mind. How connected are you to Chineke? And if you have that connection between me and Chineke, there's no distance. Madubuchi Beya, love is the highest religion. I think we're doing just fine. We'll be all right. Yes.
Yeah, it will all work out. It always does.
It does.
It always does. So welcome, everyone. Welcome wherever you are on the continent of Africa, on the continent of America, South America, wherever you are in the world. May God be your stead today. All go well for you. I'm your host, DB Dr. Wonyo Hosimiri. And I would like to welcome you to today's episode of Chiism Live, where we delve into the pressing issues shaping our world today. Thank you to my co-host, Dibia Yudi Onyoha, for that wonderful prayer, standard prayer. And before we go any further, I would like to give honors and respect to the divine Chineke and the honorable ancestors. Also to my parents, Obaja Hankeo Konyoha, the spiritual head of Godianism, Chiism. My mother, Noha Ngozi Onyoha, the mother of us all, without whom we will not be here today. So may her spirit continue to wander in the ethers, and both of them continue to be our guiding angels. We're of course the noble Ndichie. For those of you who don't know, honorable ancestors are noble Ndichie. And also we'd like to give thanks to the universal Arunsi, or the graces of Chineke as ascribed, the graces of nature, as ascribed by Chineke. May our journey each day be free of challenges. Wherever you are, nothing but goodness is going to follow you. May no evil see you today. When the evil comes and sees you, they'll run, because the power of Chineke with you is going to chase them away. May our enemies be diverted to other focus. We're not going to be their focus. Nothing but goodness shall be our focus today, and only goodness will see us. Wherever you are, that is what I hope and pray for you. In this episode, we are going to address the delineation between foundational Black Americans and African immigrants, or FCAs. The foundational Black Americans are called FBAs, and the African immigrants are foundational continental Africans, so FCAs. Now, there's been a lot of conversation about it. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about this because it's so much talk about it, but it is important for us to understand, though, not everybody is talking about this, but there are some people that this is a concern to them, and Chisholm wants to address it from our own perspective so that we can lay it to rest, and it is what it is. Whatever we take out of this, we hope that it guides your thoughts about how to relate to each other, because we have varying perspectives on how this can either strengthen our resolve for each other, our collaboration, or weaken it. So ultimately, the way this delineation is navigated can either strengthen ties among African people globally, or create rifts. I believe that we should have open dialogue, mutual respect, and shared goals as essential foundation for fostering unity while honoring individual identities. I wrote something on my Facebook page yesterday or 2 days ago, and I felt it came from my heart. I felt it was something that I personally want to say about this whole thing. I respect African Americans, not because of me, not because I work for one, but because they deserve our respect. Because I'm here, here because of their effort. You know, as in
True.
You got to tell the truth when the truth needs to be told. If you've come to this country and you're successful and you're doing things that you want to do because you've got the gifts to do it, the person that you thank is the African American. So what I wrote is that it is essential for us to recognize the profound impact that African Americans have had, not just on the fabric of American society, but on the lives of people around the world, not just here, but people around the world. Now, many African Americans may not even know the impact that they have around the world. Diba, you know, when we turn our television on in Nigeria, we see all these African Americans.
Yep.
Oh, we want to be like them because we value them.
When I was a kid, same thing. Same thing. Man.
You know, when we discovered some of the African American greats, we fell in love with them. So this whole notion that Africans hate African Americans is a lie. Yes, I said it's a big fat lie, because we don't. I've taken African Americans home and they were treated like kings and queens. Yep. And I know African Americans today that would tell you their experience when I took them home. The Nigerian people in particular are very humble people. Now, some of them who come here, I don't know what they're sniffing for them to come here and think they're better than anybody. We are struggling in Africa. We're struggling. The only reason why many of us come here is to get away from the struggle and find greener pastures. Now, how are you going to come and find greener pastures and then you insult those who make it possible? Are we crazy? This is a question I'm asking my own people from the continent, the FCAs. Are we nuts? Don't you have enough sense, values to understand you do not insult the hand that feeds you? You don't cut it off. I don't care what anybody told you. And now let's be clear. Online, sometimes some of the nonsense that we hear comes from the misinformation that we were fed in Africa. The misconception about Africans that African Americans have is fed them through the media also. So both of us are hoodwinked. We don't know each other. We just know very basic. For the African Americans who don't want to be associated with Africans, it's because of some of the things that we do when we come here. Some of our parents who tell us, we don't want you to associate with African Americans. Why? If you don't want us to associate with them, keep us at home. Then let's stay there. If we're so much better, then stay there. But you don't come to somebody's house and you want to insult them. You don't like the water they give you. You don't want the water from the sink. You want the one from the refrigerator. You don't want the one what they feed you. You can't insult people and expect them to tolerate it. We have to do better than that. And this is particularly for Africans from the continent. We have to do better. Yes, we're doing well. But who made that possible? Think. You respect me, I respect you.
Reciprocal.
It's reciprocal. You can't expect, African Americans, they're mad at. Yes, they have the right to be mad at some of us. Not all of us, let's be clear. Not all of us are ignorant. But there are some of our people who come. Yes, there's some of our people who come from Africa who are ignorant because they don't know any better. If you know what African Americans have gone through in this country, you cannot in any way be disrespectful. 400 years ago, you think it's, slavery was 400 years ago. Oh, really? That's 4 generations. That pain is still there. You can't come and add salt to the wound. That's not your role. If you cannot live with the African Americans or respect them, stay home. I'm sorry, Diba. I had to say it. We have to give respect where respect is due.
Yes.
The disrespect is too much. And so if they're getting angry, they have the right.
On both sides.
They have the right. If they disrespect you in your country, you will act the same way.
Yeah.
We will feel the same way if they come to Africa and disrespect you. There was an African professor from Fisk University who came to my village. He was terribly disrespectful. We didn't appreciate him. He thought that the Africans were jungle bunnies or whatever he thought they were. Matter of fact, he left to go back to America before he even told Dad that he was leaving. He just left. Got in the car, got on the plane and left. He couldn't deal with these Africans. So if they come to your country or your continent and do that, you'll be upset too. That's why they're upset when we come here and we act that way. So it's important that when we come here, I set up a date for me, Diba. Mm-hmm. I set up the 26th of June. It's a time that I will show my gratitude, acknowledging the struggles and sacrifices made by African Americans throughout history. Hey, I don't care who joins me on that day, but that's my day. That's the day I created. That's the day I want to let. I mean, it should be more than one day, of course, but there are so many holidays, but that's my holiday. And anybody who wants to join can join. Their resilience, the resilience of African Americans, they have paved the way for many of us. All the opportunities that we're enjoying, please, let's not forget who died for it. Many of us are immigrants. We chose to come. Their ancestors did not choose to come. Now, their ancestors are our ancestors as well. We know that. But at the same time, those whose ancestors came here and suffered, enslaved, their children sold. You even have mixed race children fathered by the slavers and still sold into slavery, their own children. There is too much pain, my brothers and sisters from the continent. Yeah, you're going to hate me. You're going to say whatever. I don't care. But truth is truth. We must remember the strength of these people. And stop saying that they don't have culture. What kind of nonsense is that? How do you say the African Americans, they don't have culture? Really? You don't think their music is culture? Their inventions is their culture? Their holidays is their culture? The way they enjoy themselves, the cookouts, the food, that's their culture. Just like you have your own culture, they have theirs. So when you come here and you have the audacity to say they don't have culture, you're nuts. Because you're enjoying their culture. I can't tell you the whole list of inventions by African Americans. So that's nonsense to say that they don't have culture. That's stupid. Sorry to say, my people, stop with the nonsense. Give respect where respect is due. So to you, all African Americans, your contributions are invaluable. And for those ignorant people who don't know, well, we're telling them today, your spirit continues to inspire generations. I'm inspired personally. Hey, I'm married to an African American. I'm inspired by what you guys have achieved. To me, every day, we should celebrate you. We should uplift you. Uplift your stories. Tell our children your stories. Don't isolate African children from African Americans. And for that matter, African Americans should not isolate themselves from Africans. Yes, there are some differences, of course. Even there in Africa, there are differences. The Ghanaians have their own culture, the Nigerians, even within Nigeria, the Yorubas, the Igbos, the Efiks, the Hausas. So yes, the color, we may say all have the same color, but we have different cultures. But the one thing that holds us together is the motherland, whether we like it or not. That's just the reality. Now, some people may tell you, oh, Black people were here before slavery. Yes, that's true. But that's still that connection. We're still connected, regardless of when you came or where you came.
Or how you came.
Or how you came. You may have come on slave ships or first-class cabin of Air Afrique. I don't care how you got here, or Delta Airlines. I don't care how you got here. We are still brothers and sisters. And we need to respect each other, respect the diversity within the Black world. But when this ground shakes, we need to be able to support each other as the rest of the world does. So thank you for opening the doors and for your unwavering strength. And I say on June the 26th, happy African American Gratitude Day, because we are grateful. And if you think that all Africans think all this nonsense that we're hearing, no.
It's many minority of us, opinion.
Yes. It's a minority. There are some ignorant people who somehow, I don't know how they got to the United States, but they made it here. And suddenly they become lawyers and doctors and all that. And some reason they think they're better than who? That the people who carried you on their backs for you to get here and become somebody? Please, that's not how we act. That's not the values.
It's not the chase spirit.
It's not the spirit. As a matter of fact, if you find that you're doing better as an African American, as an FCA, I'm gonna start using the abbreviation, as a continental African, and you've made it here, my dear, please uplift, pick up your own people, pick the African Americans up along with you, reach out and pull them up. Stop with the nonsense, because that's what it is. It's nonsense. Now the FBAs, Foundational Black Americans, they trace their ancestry to the enslaved Africans who were brought to the United States. And so they think that they have a distinct history that includes that legacy, the legacy of segregation, slavery, and civil rights struggles. That is their delineation. That's how they think they're different from the ones who came here as immigrants. But there's just one thing that the African Americans need to know. We experience segregation, struggles, colonialism. So we also have our own legacy that many African Americans don't know. You have some individuals who will say, well, go back there. Why are you here? Go back there. Many people are running from the same problems that you face here. And they're looking for brighter futures. But my problem is not that they have the audacity to come here. My problem is that those who come, give respect to the people's whose home that you've come to. Give them their respect. Anything less than that is stupidity. Excuse my language. I don't mean to speak, but I got to be honest. I've heard some of my people say dumb stuff. And I'm looking at them, I say, oh, really? You are here? You are now a doctor? You're a lawyer? Who made that possible? Before, you couldn't do none of that stuff. The civil rights movement, the people who were flogged in the street, hung from trees, water sprayed on them, their children discriminated, and you bring your little behind here. And all of a sudden, they don't have the culture. All of a sudden, you're better than they are. Oh, no, you're not. Because you got the same struggles in Africa, and that's why we come out to seek better pastures. I left Nigeria personally because there weren't enough universities that I could get into. Usually the universities, they're sewn up easily. But my parents were determined that I would go to college. And so I came here. So not everybody came, certainly, because, they're trying to run away from all kinds, manners of evil. But some do. But when it all is said and done, we need to be understanding when the African Americans is upset. Some of us have the audacity to say, oh, they're lazy. Really? They're lazy?
And they survived slavery, and you think they're lazy?
They survived slavery? They're that lazy? You're out of your mind.
Speaks.
That's ignorant people speaking. And I'm speaking today on behalf of those Africans who understand, who know the history of African Americans. Salutation, salute. It's not easy what you went through. But if you discover African history yourself, you can see the pain in Africa. The reason why people are trying to look for greener pastures for their families. It's a natural instinct. The world is a Serengeti, and people are going to keep going wherever they can find peace and honor and joy to live out their lives. Do I want my Nigeria to be a better place? Yes. Yes, I pray for it every day. But there's so many struggles there as well, just as they are here. But we need to understand each other. We don't need to insult each other. When I hear African Americans say, oh, go back to there, you're not part of us. I say, oh, no, sister. No. Don't do that. Don't do that, because you need each other. But before we can use each other, we need to respect each other. That's what I'm talking about. The African Americans feel that their experiences and cultural contributions are different from those of recent African immigrants who may not share the same historical context of systemic racism and oppression in the US. And they're right. It's true. It's true. We're Johnny-come-latelys. We've already come. We came when the door is already open. Now, there are some of us who say, well, they don't use they have access to this, access. But you're using that, you're using that access you're talking about. You're using it. You're benefiting from it. Many of us come here because we're trying to get away from, and if we find the opportunity, yes, we're going to latch onto it. But there are systemic reasons why some of African Americans' efforts are stymied. You need to read your history, read their history so you understand. So when you're running around here all highfalutin that you're better, you're not. You're not. Diba, I'm sorry, but I just, the African Americans, they have some specific policies and reparations that address the historical injustices that they face. They believe that these issues are often overlooked when we talk about Africans in general. We overlook some of the specific things, the broader things that they want to focus on when we focus on just the broader African diaspora. I believe very strongly that the African diaspora must come together, must work together. But from a position of strength, position of honor, position of respect. You cannot, as an African, come to this country and open your mouth and say, I did it by myself. No, you didn't do a darn thing by yourself. You're taking, you have the wherewithal and the pressures from home to use whatever opportunities you have to better yourself, because you know how you are UD. If I make it here, that means what? If I make it here, what does that mean? That means I'm going to share with my people in Nigeria.
Yeah.
That's right. So that's why the pressure is for us to be successful. You can't come to America and you're not working hard, because you're not just taking care of yourself, you're also taking care of the people at home.
You don't even have access to social services or social security type services until you met certain qualifications. So it's a different battle when you get in here initially.
That's right. You know, so there's also the community solidarity. You know, it's a sense they are developing a sense of solidarity within their community, emphasizing their shared experiences and struggles that have shaped their, shaped their identity for centuries. We need to honor and respect that. And we must, and Yudi, I'll let you come in and speak now. We must recognize the distinction. By delineating themselves from FCAs, the African immigrants, they are seeking recognition of their unique contributions and challenges, emphasizing that their history in America is distinct from those who may have immigrated here recently. It's a complex conversation. It's not easy. It touches on the issues of identity, belonging, and a broader African diaspora. I just want to hand this over to Diba Yudi right now by saying, just ending it with this, there is strength in unity. Let us not forget that. There are some individuals who argue that recognizing distinct identities can strengthen the broader African community, African diaspora. But we must understand and respect each other's unique histories and challenges. Communities can work together more effectively when we draw on our diverse experiences, while when we don't insult. You cannot insult the people who made it possible for you to be here, and vice versa. There are many African Americans who have emigrated to Africa. Some of them have good experiences, some of those don't, or some of them don't. The majority of them do stay. They like the way the people treat them. They're enjoying, they're building businesses, they're living, good lives. They love it there. Some don't, and they come back. It's okay, But like I started this conversation, respect deserves respect. Respect demands respect. It's a reciprocal thing. So for my brothers and sisters who come from the soil, the FCAs, give respect to the African Americans. Give them their dues. Give them their respect. Stop with the nonsense. Yudi, over to you.
Nonsense on both sides of the aisle. I remember, you calling me yesterday and telling me that you have something on your mind that you think that we should discuss on the show today. And then you talked about the friction between Africans in the motherland and people over here, Africans abroad, not just the United States, Jamaica, Haiti, everybody thinking they're different and losing the big picture or sight of the big picture. Everybody thinking that their struggle is unique and that maybe they struggled a little more than this group of Black folks. And this group of Black folks suffered less than this group of Black folks. So you're fighting all this irrelevant nonsense, and the years go by, and you continue to get lost in the narrative, the wrong narrative. I mean, listen, during World War II, there were Jews that supported Adolf Hitler. In every society, when there's conflict, when there's survival of either a community or an individual, when it's at stake, you have people that go outside the norm expectations of citizenship to support your own, no matter the consequences, even if you have to lose your life or your family is threatened. But there's this solidarity in the actions that you have to take to fight against imperialism. We've lost sight of all that stuff because we think that our experiences are unique. And it boils down to one thing and one thing only. Then, of course, you could break out into all the different micro aspects of this conversation. And that's education on both sides of the aisle, Pan-African education on both sides of the aisle. I've listened to people like Dr. Ben Jacquenon, Dr. Henry Clark. I've listened to them, and there's something that you and I always talked about. And I always said that the problem with Black folks is that we think that we're unique, we're different from one another. Like our history is, diverges. No, it doesn't. Because it doesn't matter what you think as an African, person of African descent, as a Black person, as a melanated person. It doesn't really matter how long, like Diba said, whether you came here in 1101, or if you were here, before the Common Era, you came out of the continent of Africa. So your distribution globally is just subject to when, how did you get there, not where you came from. I mean, before Columbus came here, African kings were trading with the natives over here. Over here, you got the Olmec sculptures that represent African features right here in the United States. So you got African civilization all over the world, ancient and modern. We're everywhere. We are that race you can't get rid of. Look at all the stuff that we've been through. Whether you're Haitian, whether you're Jamaican, it doesn't matter where you come from. If you got one of these, you're African. Peter Tosh wrote that song. No matter where you come from, as long as you're a Black man, you're an African. Whether you come from Congo, it don't matter. Jamaica, whatever. It's a question of where you were dropped off, where you ended. The Jamaican experience of slavery is slightly different from that of the people in the United States, but they both suffered. The Africans in Haiti, in the sugarcane plantations, suffered too, differently, but the suffering was all the same. When you listen to people like Dr. Henry Clark, you get to realize that it doesn't matter if you're Ghanaian, it doesn't matter if you're Jamaican, it doesn't matter if you're African American. When the European sees you, when anybody from any other human race sees you that does not reckon with your hue, you're Black, you're African. They don't waste their time to find out if you're from Ghanaian before they could be racist against you. They don't ask you if you're Nigerian or African American or Jamaican or Haitian before they'll get the racism thing all over you, before they judge you, before they think you're less than human. They don't want to find out if you're Zulu, if you're Igbo, if you're Yoruba. You're just the same to them. You're just a Black person, an African. No matter what you think about your Africanness, where you came from, we face the same racist attitudes no matter what. So it's unfortunate that miseducation has made some Africans think that the African American is less than, and vice versa. Some African Americans don't even want to be connected to Africa. They will tell you, I'm from Cherokee tribe, I'm from this. It's always from the same Indian tribe. I'm yet to see an African American that told me, I'm from the Comanche. It's always a Cherokee thing going on because it's a narrative. How you think you became the Cherokee? Let's just assume. You think you just came from the sky, Black, and landed here in North America, and all of a sudden, you're not African anymore? Is that what we think? You think the Africans that left Africa and came over here are not Africans anymore? You think you're better? Because the winds of history didn't land your behind over here. And if you did leave Africa to come over here back in the 60s or the 70s or whenever you got here, 2025, you left Africa and came over here in search of better opportunities. So there's no African that comes over here, especially now, if you are not from a certain economic class that came over here just because they felt like getting out of Nigeria and living abroad. No, we all would love to live where we came from. If the playing field was, even across the board, where the elitists don't swallow up those people in the middle class or people that are poor. We don't go back to the European way of doing things with the barons and the serfs, because that's what's going on now. There's a level of inferiority complex that comes along with being miseducated. It really is. It is that inferiority complex that makes you think you're better than somebody else who has similar experiences. Do you think that Africans in the motherland during slavery didn't suffer? Did you think that King Leopold didn't hack off hands and legs of millions of Africans just because they didn't meet a quota? Do you think that the African American male wasn't castrated just for looking at a white person the wrong way, even when they're innocent? Do you think the Jamaican man was not sodomized in front of his children and his family? Whose suffering is worse than the other? Tell me who didn't suffer. The African American? The African in the motherland? The African in the Caribbean? In Europe? Especially during slavery, the Middle Passages. Tell me where. Because the history of the African before the Common Era, all the way up till the 13th century, is a whole lot different from the history of Africa from the 15th century and on. It's totally different. And somewhere along the way, we have forgotten the contributions that people of African ancestry have made to civilized behavior. If you're from the motherland right now, and in terms of where you live, you think you contributed more than the African American. And if you're the African American, you think you contributed more than the African. But the contribution is equal. As a matter of fact, the contribution started in the motherland before the discovery over here in the United States by Africans. It started over there. Even the bow and arrow started over there. Before we figured out everything else, that we figured out how to deal with the smallpox and the elevator and flight and, open heart surgery and the LASIK eye, or calculating the distance going to the moon and back, all that good stuff that happened later. But before that happened, there were inventions that happened in Africa. Mathematical tools, papyrus writing, advanced metallurgy, the bow and arrow, medical, all that stuff. The first human heart transplant was not here. It was in 1967, a South African surgeon named Dr. Christian Barnard performed that. So their contributions on both sides, nobody is better than the other. Don't fool yourself thinking that you from the motherland right now, that's where you live, or you just came, Johnny come lately, that you're better than the African American. When it is the African Americans that made it possible for you to even have the impetus to come over here. They're the ones that got lynched right here, sacrificed right here for you to be able to come here. Now you come over here and now you think you're better. Or the African American that sees you, now he thinks you're a jungle bunny, you're a monkey. Because I personally have gotten that when I was at the University of North Alabama. I have been called a monkey. The ignorance is on both sides. The African American, the average African American, absolutely have no idea about Africa. How many countries? If Africa is a continent or a country, half of them think it's a country. Thank God for people like I Show Speed that went to Africa and kind of showcase the Africa that people don't see, to kind of quelch a little bit of that ignorance. Because you have one side of the spectrum, one side of the movie. You've only seen one part of it. You haven't seen the other one. You only see the downtrodden, all the negative things that is put out there so that you continue your how do you say, your audacity to claim your rightful place in the universe is impugned by the narrative that is out there. Narrative of ignorance, narrative of poverty, narrative of Africans can't do anything for themselves. But they forget to tell you why it's hard to develop things in Africa. How the European, particularly the French and the British, has stomped all over the Africa up until recently the Burkina Faso rose up, which, by the way, we should all do as people of African ancestry. At some point, you need to rise up and take control of your future, your destiny. Your Ikenga has to come into place. There's a lot of Ikenga talent in Africa. but we need to bring it to fruition, to the hallmarks of our destiny, of your destiny. Akarakage. But all this back and forth, I'm better than you, you're better than me, all that kind of stuff. You got an identity crisis. Because the racism against the African is equal, regardless of if you're Zulu, Jamaican, Nigerian, Yoruba, Igbo, Senegalese, African American. It doesn't matter. So for any of you guys out here highfalutin that the Jamaican is better than the Haitian better than African American better than the Nigerian better than the Zulu better than the Ghanaian, is all nonsense. Because your enemy doesn't see what you see. They just see an African. I don't care what part of the world you reside. They just see black. That's it. And until we understand and realize that, because I think the new leadership is not understanding it. Even young African Americans, a lot of them are now beginning to see it. A lot of us are now beginning to understand that the way we see each other is directly a reflection of the narrative, the dominant narrative that is out there. Press, whoever controls the press controls a nation. You get fed the same lie, the same narrative over and over, generation to generation. Of course, it becomes truth. It becomes truth. It's like politics. The deal with politics is you need to be able to lie convincingly to get somebody's vote. That's all it is. It's a play. It's a game. Who says what turns you on? Who lies better? And some of the leadership in the world today, you could tell that the reason why we're suffering is because the politician in the democratic system was the better liar. So we believe the lie because we're desperate, looking for sustenance, things to improve our lives. So since we don't have direct access to power, we're given the illusion of the vote, that maybe somehow we control it. So they put the actors in front of us. And they act, and they lie. And then you bring in the so-called black leaders. And he's a basketball player. He's a football player. He's a sports announcer like Stephen A. Smith or somebody like that. Now they're talking for me. Now they're speaking for you. But you never turn on the TV and see the narrative that talks more. People like Philip Emeagwali, who invented the fastest calculating computer setup that made the internet possible. He's really the true father of the internet. You don't hear about that stuff. Instead, I hear LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Jim Brown. That's what I hear on TV. If I'm not switched into Neil deGrasse Tyson's channel, I'll never know he exists. How many of us were taught in school about the ladies that made the moon landing possible until a movie was made by Steven Spielberg? For a lot of us to go, oh my God, how many of us even knew that we have the capability as Africans until we saw Black Panther and we saw Wakanda? All of a sudden, we saw the possibilities. There was a level of pride, and it was all in the motherland. And when Black Panther came out, Africans from all over the world, nobody cared if you were Jamaican, nobody cared if you were Haitian, nobody cared if you were Nigerian, African American. We just saw Wakanda, Black Panther, where we all came from, and it became the highest grossing movie. Why do you think that is? Because there's something in our soul that tells us that we are all one and the same. We just need the same constant narrative over and over instead of the lies, so that we can begin to see the light. Because the inventions on both sides. African Americans invented, Africans on the mainland.
Many inventions by African Americans.
Many. Jamaicans. I mean, if I tell you about the African scientists from the motherland, your head will just explode. And if I tell you about the Africans here that made at least 80% of all Western inventions possible, they're African American.
African Americans, that's right.
Period. Open up, go to the internet, open up your history books and see the contributions of the African Americans and see the contributions of the Africans in the motherland. You get to realize that either way, we changed the world. The African changed the world. The African American changed the world. The African in the motherland changed the world. The African in Jamaica changed the world. Go to Haiti. Some of the greatest military victories were fought by Haitians. And they defeated the French. Haiti is not the way it is because they're stupid. They're the way it is because Western powers needed to make sure that Haiti never rises again because of its defeat of France. And they had to give up France. Napoleon had to give up a whole lot of territory in the United States here to get the support from the US to help them with Haiti and defeat that rebellion.
Diba Yudi.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I wanted to address certain things that some individuals have posted here. This person, Legend Go Time, she says, or he says, I'm not sure if it's a she or he, what is wrong with you people? FBA is specifically for foundational Black Americans and birthright citizenship in Africa, in America, US. I just want to say to you, my brother or sister, nobody's fighting you on that. As a matter of fact, we're agreeing with you. We're agreeing with you. We're not here to disprove whatever you're saying in terms of who you think you are. Who you think you are matters to you. And we are saying that everybody should be honored. You should be honored. You have a cultural experience that is unique to you because you come from, your descendants came from slavery, but your descendants in America came from slavery. But your descendants, your ancestors in Africa were not slaves when they came here. So you do have some things to be proud of. Your connection to Africa should not minimize who you are here in America. There's an African proverb that says, nobody says that my mama's soup is bad. Africa is the mother. And if you're walking around here saying, I have nothing to do with Africans, you're mistaken. It doesn't minimize who you are. You should be proud of being African American. And we are saying that. That's what we're saying. You say, what's wrong with you people? What is wrong with us? Are we wrong? Please tell me if we are wrong. Are we wrong that FBA is specifically for foundational Black Americans? Are we wrong? Are we wrong? The comments that we were making today is to encourage Africans to respect you for who you are, your culture.
Yeah, are we wrong? Picture. Miseducation. That's it.
Because many of us are miseducated about who you are.
Yep.
Are we wrong to say this?
And you could tell.
So I'm not sure what you mean by what's wrong with us people. We're not arguing that. We're not arguing that you're foundational Black Americans. I have no problem with that. I'm an American though. Now you may have citizenship in America, but so do I.
Yep.
In your case, is because your ancestors were born for whatever the reasons are. Yes, you are foundational. But then there are other citizens who are not foundational. They are the Asians. They are the whites. They are people from different worlds. This is a melting pot. And it also includes Africans. But I'm just concerned that we Africans are hating on other Africans. The Africans on the continent hating African Americans and African Americans doing the same. We shouldn't be doing that. So you tell me if I'm wrong to say that you deserve respect. If I'm wrong, then tell me that. I want you to post and say that I am wrong to request that Africans respect you. Tell me that. That's what I would like you to post, to say you are wrong for requesting that Africans respect you. Please post that.
The essence.
Yeah. So if what we're saying here is upsetting to you, please go ahead. Tell us why Africans can't be. We're not interested about the deportation.
I mean, it's just unnecessary conversation.
You know what? It says he says or she says, I'm not sure. Black FBA Americans can't be deported. or have citizenship revoked.
That's not
Great.
the conversation.
Great. I'm happy to hear that for you. But that's not my conversation. My conversation is respect.
Thank you.
Is the respect that we must accord you.
How's that difficult?
I'm not sure what's that got to do with deportation. I could never wish anybody, white, purple, green, or otherwise, to be uprooted from where they call home. I would never wish that on anybody.
Like Africans.
You know, so I certainly will not wish that on African Americans to be deported to where? If your heritage makes it so that you can never be deported, hurrah, good. But please don't misunderstand Africa. Many of us think that Africa is such a bad, ugly place. No, it's not. There's wealth in Africa. It's not every African that lives in America. There are some those who, you know, for whatever reasons, their circumstances are great. They're there. But what we're talking about today is to encourage Africans from the continent to respect you.
What's wrong with that?
Legend. Jeez. That's what we talked about. So I'm not sure why you're telling us about you not being deported and all of that. Who cares? Why should anybody even dare to want to deport you? For what?
One of them even said they don't
built
want to.
This country. African Americans built this. You deporting them to where? You can't deport them. So I want you to tell me where we were wrong having this conversation. And then he made another, or she made another statement here. He says, we see your attempts at ethnic erasure and we will never accept it. Foundational Black Americans are not generic Africans, and disingenuous efforts like this will only hurt yourselves. So what we're saying is disingenuous, respecting you. So what are you complaining about then? I don't understand what you're complaining. You're complaining that Africans don't respect you. Then when we're saying that we respect you, then you say that you will never accept it.
You don't want to hear that.
I don't get it. Foundational Black Americans are not generic Africans. So who's generic? Africans are not generic. We all have our different cultures. And so do you. And we respect that. And that's what we're talking about here. And you're telling us you will never accept it? We are tempted.
Well, there goes the problem. That's why we're doing this show. That's exactly why we're doing this show.
That's just the point. You have not paid attention to what we're saying today. You came here with a notion of disrupting. Yep. I don't care what they say. I'm looking at everything that you've written here, and I'm asking you, what is wrong with respecting you? You say we don't respect you, and we say we should respect you. Now you say it's ethnic erasure. How is that? How are we ethnically erasing you?
Narrative,
by saying we need to respect you?
Narrative.
And we're going to hurt ourselves. See, this is the confusion. And that's why it's important for Africans and African Americans to understand each other.
Start talking to each other.
This kind of comments, we're hurting ourselves. We're erasing you. Because we say to respect you. We say to honor you. We're telling our people to be respectful, but that's erasure.
Well, you could tell there's ignorance from both sides.
By doing that. I don't understand. I just want you to kind of expand on this stuff that you've written here, because it doesn't make sense to me. But it may make sense to you, but you can make it make sense to me. Because what we're talking about here today is respect and honor to be given to those who deserve it. And we feel you deserve it, but I guess you don't feel you deserve it. You have to explain what you're talking about, because it's not making sense to me. Here's another comment here. The birthright citizenship clause was introduced to allow former enslaved to become naturalized citizens.
What's got to do with what we're talking about?
What's got to do with me respecting you?
I mean, I don't understand this.
I think it's very, very important that African Americans understand your citizenship is a good thing. None of us is holding that against you. Floriat, my father always says.
Knock yourself out.
I'm glad. Ooh. Because you deserve it. You earned it. You earned it to be in any part of this United States because your people built it. You helped to build this nation. You deserve to be here. And if the citizenship clause has made it so that former enslaved is now naturalized, good. So shall it be, as it should be. So I'm not sure what this is about, because when I don't know any Africans who are jealous that you're naturalized citizens. I know I'm not, because you deserve it. It's the right thing. I mean, what's the argument there? Okay, that's what. And then this other comment here. The first slaves brought to America started in the 1500s. They also enslaved the indigenous Black native population that was already here. They who? Okay, I'm not sure what that's saying to me. The Black FBA Americans are the only group that is forced to live with outsiders from foreign countries. Okay, now this one I don't understand.
That's the one. There's mental confusion.
No. I mean, he's trying to make points, and I just want to understand the points he's making. The Black FBA Americans are the only group that is forced to live with outsiders from foreign countries.
What about white people?
Well, are you forced to live
with other people?
Are you forced to live with Asians? Are you forced to live with Latinos? Are you wanting to be? You want to be by yourselves? You don't want to be a part of it, because you saying that you're forced to live with outsiders from countries. Then you're saying that America is not a melting pot. America should be just for you, for the FBAs. That's what you're saying. Nobody else belongs here, just you. If you're being forced to live with the rest of the world, I thought America was a melting pot. But you're saying that African Americans are forced to live with outsiders from foreign countries. Do you want to be separated from outsiders? Who are the outsiders? Is it?
You can have America then.
You just want to be the only people who live in America?
If the European American lets you.
So, but no, I get, I think he's trying to make a point. I just want him to elaborate. But I do want him to understand that this conversation is about honoring you. It's not about taking anything from you. I am not an outsider. I'm an American citizen. My roots are in Africa. Just your roots are in Africa as well, whether you like it or not. Okay? But I honor the culture that you have established here. I honor the community you've built here. It is imperative that I do so. It is imperative that the people who come from Africa should honor you. But I can never, my brother or sister, I can never see you as other. I can never see the African American as other, because I still see you as connected to my continent, to Mother Africa. I still see you. When I see you, I see my brother and sister. Now, I'm going to tell you, there are some individuals out here who don't have enough brains to understand that they cannot be disrespectful. And that's who I was telling today. You got to stop that nonsense. But you, on the other hand, I'm not sure what you're trying to say. We are outsiders. You don't want to associate with us? So who else? Who do you want to associate with in America? But who don't you want to associate with? So you live in that blank. I don't know who the outsiders are. You mean Africans? You have to be a little bit more definitive. This one says, a Black FBA American invented the cell phone. Yes, indeed. Absolutely. Absolutely. And we talked about the fact that you invented a lot of things that we are taking advantage of, and we must respect that. We must respect that. And those of us who come here and disrespect, it's wrong. It's you. When we have African Americans who come to Africa and we embrace them, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. I don't see you as FBA when I see you in Africa. We have Diba Round. African Americans have taken home. The whole village comes out for them. The dancing, the music, the embrace, the elders, everybody welcoming you home. Washing your feet and say, welcome home. Should we treat you as FBAs? Should we not welcome you? So I understand the feelings of FBAs in America. I understand that. But I just want you to know, we're not your enemy. Now, some of them who are talking nonsense, they just need to shut up with the nonsense. But most of us see your contribution, not just to America, but to the world. But you don't want to associate with us. Not even those of us who feel the way we feel. Well, I don't understand what you're talking about. Maybe you can help me with that. This one said, we are proud FBA. We're not African tethers, not going to get us to unite. Okay. We're all living in America. You can just be by yourselves if you want. That's okay with me.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to unite, then you don't have to. You don't have to. I'm not a tether because I don't want anything from you. Okay? I take advantage of all the opportunities that's here for you, for me, for all the people who make up this melting pot. I'm not tethering on nothing. Now, people think that if you want reparations, if Africans want to be a part of reparation, then they're tethers. They are trying to take advantage of some of the things that African Americans have built. Okay, for me, I'm not a tether, whatever that means. If you want all the reparations for yourself, flourish, have at it. If they give it, if America decides to give you reparations, flourish it. Use it for the good of the FBAs. Do you? I ain't got no problem with that. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about us respecting each other. African Americans being respected by continental Africans. That's my concern. Reparations and all that, who are tethers and who are not tethers. When I operated group homes for the mentally challenged in the state of Michigan. All my employees were African Americans. I could count one or two who were from Africa. African Americans, I was in the position to provide employment. And I provided employment. I had almost 50 employees in my organization. 49 of those, I mean, I beg your pardon, like maybe 40, 47, 48, were all African Americans. Were they tethers? Should I have called them tethers? Or should I not have employed them? So you have to make sense. Make sense. Show your anger, whatever. But don't call Black Africans tethers. Because let me say this, Diba Yudi, I want to share this with this young person, man or woman. I don't know who this person is, but I just want to share something with them. Ghana right now, okay, is calling for reparations. And many African nations are doing the same thing to address the historical injustices of slavery, colonialization, and exploitation. Now, here is why they are calling for reparations in Africa. The historical injustice. Like many African nations, Ghana seeks to address the lasting impacts of slavery and colonization. We suffered there too. It has contributed to the economic and social disparities on the continent.
South Africa just got free in the 90s.
Yes.
Yeah, think about that.
Moral responsibility. The movement in Africa regarding reparations emphasizes the moral obligation of former colonial powers and entities involved in transatlantic slave trade, which involved your ancestors, to make reparative gestures for the suffering they caused. They're not sitting there in Africa saying SBA or FB, whatever. They are even saying that reparations should provide financial resources for development initiations, education, and infrastructure throughout African communities all over the world to uplift communities affected by historical injustices. You ask the Ghanaians, you ask the Africans, who should have reparation? Now, primarily, reparations will be sought for African nations that were colonized and exploited. However, diaspora consideration, listen, FBA, Africans are including African Americans, African diaspora in the Caribbean, including African Americans in conversations about reparations, because African Americans were impacted by the slave trade and they deserve. This acknowledges that the legacy of slavery and colonization affects people of African descent globally, all over the world. It's not just for Africans on the continent, but globally. because Ghana is primarily focused on the nations, African nations and the citizens, the advocates from Africa are arguing that African Americans and other members of diaspora should also be included in the discussions.
Oh, excuse me, okay, Diba, address the comment. Somebody put a comment that FBA is a revisionist hate group, and I was going to address that, but it's in the comment.
I'm going to raise that. The broader view sees the legacy of slavery as a transnational issue affecting all people of African descent. So the conversation around reparations is complex and multifaceted. It's not about FBAs. It didn't affect just those who were born to slaves. It affects Africans everywhere. Now, if the FBAs want it for just themselves, we Africans, that's not the way we are thinking. The way we are thinking is that all Africans deserve reparations, including the Africans who were born of slaves here in America. We don't say it's just for African nations. We say it's for the global African world, because we were all impacted by by slavery, by the transatlantic slave trade. So when we sit here and we're talking about, oh, just us, that's not how we're thinking in Africa. There are meetings. There are meetings being held in Africa with African diaspora to discuss reparations and how they too deserve. So when I hear people saying, oh, we are tethers, we're not tethers. Tethers to what? Something that has not been given to you yet? Something that you're fighting for, and you deserve it when you get it because you earned it. But you cannot be here trying to tear us apart. It doesn't benefit us. When this ground shakes, everybody else has their motherland to go to. But you have some people here in Africa, the African American community, who are saying, we don't want to be with you. We don't want to be associated with African immigrants. Let me repeat this. There are some African immigrants that are ignorant. They don't know anything. Some of their parents even don't know nothing and sent them here with nothing in their minds to understand the need to collaborate. Instead, they taught them exactly what they saw on television, the misinformation. And they come here and they enact it into reality. And with that buffoonery, African Americans see that and think, oh my God, they hate us. I don't hate African Americans. I don't. Why should I? When I consider all the good they've done, why should I? And there are many, many people who think like that don't get credit for the way they think. We cannot walk around here calling ourselves FBAs, FCAs, and yet, if I was at a bus stop and I see an African American being injured, should I shut up? Should I move away because I'm not FBA? Should I watch an African American being hurt and move away because I'm not FBA? No, I will never do that. I'm an African person, and so are you. You may not like it because of your misinformation, but you're my brother, you're my sister, and I always see you that way, whether you like it or not. You can call me all the names you want. You can call me a tether. You can call me anything you want. But for those of us who understand history and know your contributions to this world, we will never accept you treating us as if we're all the same thing, as all of us are hateful people. Now, let me see what Diba, what you're talking about. Somebody wrote, let me see what somebody wrote here.
Let me just say something. Don't even worry about that for a second.
Wait a minute. Here's this. Somebody says, this is okay, I'm sorry. We are not the same people. We FBAs were slaves in the US. We are not Africans. We are indigenous to America, not Africans. No one deserves our reparations. Africans, Caribbeans have to fight. Listen, my brother or sister, you can have your reparation Nobody's fighting you for it.
Matter
of fact, I didn't know nothing about reparations until I started talking about it. But if you think that you deserve reparations, have at it. Have it. But don't walk around here talking about we don't deserve. Who's asking for it? And for my part, we say, yes, you deserve it. I didn't ask for, I went to a meeting and I said, I don't want any part of that. I don't want to read your reparation. The reparation that Africans are asking for in Africa, now that's the one I'm looking at. Whatever you're looking for yourself here, I'm not into that. It's something that you think you deserve, go at it. If you don't think if you're proud that your heritage ends as slaves, that's unfortunate, because you have a greater history than slavery. But if you don't want to acknowledge that, that's on you. That's on you. I'm not going to fight you on that. But I know African Americans who don't think this way. I know many. And I attend meetings with them. The Federalist movement, they talk about how we can work together on the continent and here. Because contrary to what some of you believe, Africa is not poor. Everything comes from Africa. So when you look down on your heritage, it's on you. You don't want to be around us, it's on you. Because I'm going to tell you very honestly, my dear brother or sister, whoever you are, I'm not out here fighting you to be African. If you don't want to be African, that's fine. I'm proud to be African. I am proud to be African. That's my heritage. If you're not proud of it, that's on you. So you're not hurting my feelings saying, I don't want to be African. That's on you. There is, we don't want your, reparation. Africa is fighting for reparations for its people. And that's where my focus is. African FBAs, African Americans fighting for reparations for just Africans. That's on you. Have at it. Africa, now this one says, Africans do not fight back in the USA. I'm not sure what that means. Africans don't fight back in the USA. Okay. All right. Well, I'm not quite sure what that is saying. This one says, white ass-licking Africans and Caribbeans are not the same as we. Oh, really? Let me talk about Sambo. Let's talk about some of those hysterical people who are Africans who sold their own people. We don't want to go into those history, do we? There is good and bad in every group. If you're telling me all Black African Americans or all FBAs are good, you're a liar. Because there's good in you. Look at you. Look at what you're saying here.
You had blacks that own slaves here. African Americans own slaves right here.
Listen, baby, wait a minute, UD. Go home and fight there. We are fighting, my brother or sister. I have a home. Right now. We're fighting on your own. Are you helping us? Did we ask you to help in Africa? Did we? If you don't want to help, that's okay.
Yeah, go learn about Burkina
FBA all damn day. Okay, power to the people. Go ahead, be FBA, whatever. We're not fighting you. We don't care. We don't care about you getting your reparations. We're not fighting that. You deserve that. If your history just takes you back to slavery and you think based on that, that's why you should have your reparation, Floriat.
You only go back as your history only goes back to slavery. It doesn't go back beyond it.
If the FBAs think that their history goes back to just
yeah, that's where they started from, slaves.
Yeah, well, Africans go ahead and have a ball. Have at it. But what I want you to know, there are more African Americans, and yes, I will call you African American whether you like it or not, because your ancestors came from Africa, just like you say European Americans, just like you say Polish Americans, just like you say Irish Americans. Okay?
Thank you.
So, don't tell me not to call you African American, because you did not fall from the sky. You came from Africa. I don't care if you were here before slavery. You came from Africa. That's his historical fact, whether you like it or not. You're my brother. You're my sister. And I'm always going to embrace you accordingly. But some of you who call yourselves FBA, you are doing the work of those who want to separate Black people. That's what you're doing. Here, let me read this from this gentleman. We are not the same people. And arguing over reparations, clearly Europeans have nothing to worry about anymore. We're apparently our biggest enemies now. What the WTF is going on, bro? Yeah, will we talk to them? It doesn't make sense. I'm walking around here. When I see African Americans, I see
what you read doesn't make sense to me. What you just read makes no bloody sense. Whoever wrote that.
No, it does. He says, we are not the same people. This is what somebody's claiming. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't make sense.
Over reparations. He says, clearly, Europeans have nothing to worry about anymore. We are apparently our biggest enemies now. That's what this person is saying.
The European has done the job for them. That's why he wrote that. That's a European hack job right there.
What that's what he's saying. Now? You know, right, and then this one says,
and conquer.
You know, Black FBA American U.S. slaves who were freed purchased family members from the enslavers, not as property. Yes, good. That's part of your history that I'm proud of. More power to you. Thank you for sharing that. That is powerful. That is powerful. Now, here's somebody. Now, Yudi, listen, Bule Negus. That's what this person's got. Only 4% of African slaves came to America. We are native to America, not Africa. Bye, go home and lick more white. Well, it seems to me that there are more white people here than there are in Africa. And I see a lot of you doing that. You're doing a lot of licking by this kind of nonsense you're talking about. You know, you feel you're superior, but you're running around here calling Black people niggas, excuse the expression. Those are your words.
Well, that's the ignorance when I did
the ignorance that we're talking about.
People, man. You can't help that. Okay? You know,
we are not concerned about you liking us, my dear brothers and sisters. We don't care. You don't have to like us. Call us whatever names.
Thank you.
You know, I will never open my mouth and call you these kinds of names. My values will not let me. My values will not let me. My respect for you will not let me do that. But you obviously don't have respect for Black people. But you want Black people to respect you. How does that work exactly? You know, so every time, this is what I don't understand. We're trying to talk about respecting African Americans, and these people are just here attacking.
I wouldn't even address the.
You know what? I will tell you something. If I hear you again complain that Africans are insulting you, are rude to you, now I know why. Because that's what you are doing that.
They think they're superior. That's the problem. We just talked about it. The Jamaican thinks it's better than the Haitians.
It's crazy. I can't believe them. I can't believe them.
That's where we are.
Oh my God. Look at this. This one says, no. Some of us are indigenous to the USA. Listen, my brother or sister, whoever you are, I don't care if you were indigenous here. You came from somewhere.
Thank you.
From where people look like you.
Jeez, so how's that so difficult to understand?
What does that mean? I'm indigenous. So you are indigenous, but you came from somewhere. Indigenous people came from somewhere. Even Native Americans.
The Australian Aborigines came from Africa.
They came from somewhere.
Way before you came here. They're the Africans. Asians got Black folks, Africans.
90% of Africans, 90%. Where did you get that? Where did you get that from? In their own lands are not unified. How can we unify with Africans when South Africans are fighting over Africans? Get out of here. All right, okay. Are you happy now? I hope your statement makes you happy. Inhale and exhale, my dear.
We're trying to unite a divided house, and then you got these people.
You did. It's obvious that some of the people who are making these statements, they are traumatized. We're not their problem. They are their own problems. Because I can tell you, you know, and here, look at this one. These are the people who think they're better than somebody. NIGGER, I won't even say the word, was taken, and Black FBA Americans turned the word into a term of endearment. Oh, really? Oh, my God. Okay. All right.
What an accomplishment.
So if I call you that, you'll be happy? I don't understand.
Yes. You're not a nigger now. You're not a nigger. You're now a nigger. Good for you. No more nigger. No more nigger. You're now a nigger. So you're better. Nigga.
Oh my God.
Jesus,
People,
Lord have mercy. I mean,
people,
Lord
Lord have
call him
mercy. I'm
all.
like, oh my God. We started a program today, but anyway, let's just leave the ignorance, put ignorance aside. The bottom line is that every African in America deserves respect, even the ones that are ignorant. Okay. Uh, uh, you know, you what is this person talking about? All the yelling is not going to change anything. You divided when you started selling people. You should be embarrassed to bring this up. Oh, really? It's all over the internet. That's what you're talking about. We'll just join the conversation. That's what you guys talk about. I go to some of your
hey, ask him about the African Americans that were selling that owned slaves here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, how about that, Mr. FBA or Miss FBA? How about the African Americans, the indigenous here that owned slaves?
Listen, you're not even unified here, my dear brother. Go unify. You're not unified here. You think it's every African American who believes in this FBA thing? You think so? Delineation now. Yeah, have at it. Who cares? Delineate all you want. We're not interested. I want you to delineate from the people that you want to delineate from everybody you want to delineate. Have at it. We don't have any problem with that. I don't blame you. With people who think the way you do, calling people N-words and being disrespectful, who wants to be a part of your experience? I don't want to be a part of that. Nobody wants to be a part of that.
Let me just say this.
You really think you're making somebody feel bad because you're delineating them? Huh? You're not making anybody feel bad. I feel sorry for you. I feel sorry for you that you don't respect yourself enough to come to a forum like this and use profanity to address Black people, fellow Black people. Listen, FBA, FCA, whatever you want to call yourself, have at it. You want your reparations, have at it. You want to not mix with Africans, it's on you. Me, I choose different. I mingle with African Americans. They are African Americans to me, whether you like it or not. I respect them. I honor them. I have camaraderie with them. I go to events with them. They are African Americans who understand that we have to work together. So for some of you who don't know anything, because some of the things that I'm reading here, a whole bunch of stuff, they don't even know their history. They don't know African history. They're just running their mouths. They get up here, look at this one. What? FBI are offended by non-FBA using the word. Oh, bet you're using it. You think it's a good thing? Is it a good thing? FBAs can call themselves.
Didn't he just say he owned the word? It's not nigger.
He said, instead of nigger. I will never call you that, my brother. I will never call you that.
Yeah, he wants you to call him a nigger. Because I know he owns the word now.
I know that makes him better. Behind it. Jesus, I will never call you that. You deserve to be called better. You deserve to be called by your name, not by a derogatory word like that. So if you want to own that word, you can own it. You can keep it, because I will never use it. I will never use it to address you, because you don't deserve to be addressed in that manner. But if you choose that that's how you want to be, then that's fine. That's fine. And this one says, Africans are still involved in slavery right now. Really? Bye. Okay, go home. Well, why are you here? Why are you here? Bye. We didn't call you. I know who you are.
Let me share some information real quickly.
What was it? Go keep bowing down to a PDF like Charles. What is he talking about? Oh my God.
I think we've got enough of that. The comments will get us nowhere. We'll kill off our time.
The people in the comment section are talking to talk. Not even listening, bro. This is wild. Anyway, I just wanted to give them the opportunity to vent.
Yeah, it's too much. Let's continue the show.
We will continue our conversation. Jeez, but no, it's okay. It's okay for them to vent. They have been abused, mentally abused, and they are trying to find somebody to blame for the mental abuse. But let's please be clear that it's not all African Americans. And I use that word, African Americans, to address even those who don't want to be called African Americans. It's not all of them that are like that. I wanted some of these individuals who have challenges, mental challenges, quite frankly, to have an opportunity to say whatever they want to say. I hope they got it off their chests and it makes them feel better. But I would always continue to preach that we need to respect the African Americans, and we need to respect the Black world, period. We need to respect each other. The insults and all of that just proves to me the kind of people who should delineate themselves from the rest of the world. Judy, go ahead.
I don't know, man. You're more of a priest. You're more of a priest than I am. I have to be honest with you. You have a way of saying things when I know that you're really upset, but you have a way of calming the room. I don't. Right? Good cop and bad cop. I don't care. It's such ignorant statements is what riles me up and keeps me in front of the camera and doing what I do. Let me just say this. While the vast majority of Black Americans were enslaved prior to the Civil War, thousands of freed people, thousands of freed slaves owned slaves in the antebellum South. Some did it to protect family members, while most of them did it for commercial shareholders, slaveholders, matching the practices of the white plantation owners. Some examples include William Ellison Jr., Anna Kingsley, so on and so forth, Anthony Johnson, okay? They own slaves. You know, you hear this stuff about African slaves. Yeah, there are some Africans that sold into slavery, but it wasn't because they were just selling you into slavery. Most of them was, just like in every other place in Europe, we had conflicts too. They fought wars. And then, of course, the influx of the European complicated it a little bit more. Ignorance abounded, okay? The captured people in battle were handed over to the Europeans for guns, for ammunition, for military equipment, so that these tribes can fight the other tribes that are trying to, overrun them and, take over or whatever. So there are so many complex reasons for these things, but it wasn't because we got up one day and decided to sell our people. It didn't happen like that. But the narrative, and when you hear the FBA and all that, that's really what these people have bought into. Okay, that's what they bought into, and then they make it out like this problem is just an African thing. No, it's not. As a matter of fact, Europeans themselves frequently enslaved other Europeans throughout history. You understand? Japan did the same. In South America, they used to go into battle, capture other villages, and then sacrifice them to their gods. So I don't know why people talk about history as if the experience is exclusive to Africa, or that other people didn't do it. Europeans were enslaving Europeans every day. Rome was built on slave labor. But they just went indentured like the Africans because they took you to a lower level than just being a slave. You were less than human. You were defined as less than human. They had Africans enslaved. What are these FBA talking about? They had people that came from Africa locked up in cages up until the 1930s. Even in New York, locked up in freaking cages in the 20s. In the zoo. They were from Africa. There weren't African Americans in the zoo. It was Africans from the motherland in the bloody zoo. As a matter of fact, the African woman is responsible for some of the fashion that happened in Europe in the 16th or 17th century, 18th century, when you see the women with the big clothing, the backside is really large, looks like a hump. It was because of a captured African woman that was dissected. She is the one responsible for that fashion look, you see. But all these FBA people, they talk about as if, their suffering is better. Your mother's soup is better than my mother's soup. No, it's not. Everybody thinks that their mama's soup is the best. Yeah. I happen to think that my mama's soup, my history is the best. So if that's what you're thinking, fine. I'm sure the Viking thinks that the Viking history is the best. The Indian in Asia think the same way. So does the British pomposity. Italian sexiness, Latin lover. Yeah, we all got ours. I don't know who y'all been listening to, which school you've been to. Have you listened to people like W.E.B. Du Bois, who opined that true unity, true Pan-Africanism, what is needed is when we all are Haitian, African Americans, Nigerian, whatever, when you're ready to give up a little bit of yourself for the good of the whole, now you're talking. If we all collectively talked about that reparation, you're talking about we all just might get it. But if you FBA talking about reparations, let me tell you something. It's like you being lost at sea on a rubber dinghy, a rubber boat, a life boat. And you just on that little life thing, and all around you are hammerhead sharks, great white sharks just circling around, seeing that you're the only one on that boat. And next thing you know, just like the killer whale, they take a bite out of your rubber tube and you start to lose air. And when you start to lose air, your little life raft or whatever starts to sink. And you along with it, then the sharks will come and get you. So if you can FBA all you want to out there, what's going to happen to you is the same thing that will happen to the guy who is alone on the lifeboat with sharks around. And once you hit that water, it's over for you. So there's no way that your FBA, whatever you want to call yourselves, I'm the bad cop here. It's not going to happen. It's not going to work. You get mad all you want to. You could abuse us, call names all you want to. You could own the word nigger all you want to. The bottom line is, if we are not willing to give up a little bit of ourselves for the good of the whole, because the bottom line is when the European, anybody outside the African context, when they see you, they don't care if you're FBA. You understand me? They don't care if you're South African with their stupid, fighting other Africans. Some of our Africans are taking stuff from you. But you forget the fact that during the apartheid, it was these same Africans, particularly in Nigeria, that supported you with all that money and everything else. Then the FBA, like Nelson Mandela says, you think that your enemy, whoever your enemy is, should be my enemy. You think I should see myself the way you see yourself, as an inferior. Because all these comments, it just tells one sad story. You guys are uneducated. You don't understand. There's a lot of African Americans that are not down with your FBA nonsense talk. There's a lot of African Americans, more than your FBA people, that understand that only if we come together as one can we get our reparation, can we fight, can we unify. Gaddafi lost his life over that. Thomas Sankara lost his life over that. Sekou Touré did. Kwame Nkrumah was exiled. Patrice Lumumba lost his life. Stephen Biko. These were all the Pan-African thinkers that understood that together we could strike a mighty blow. But if we're disconnected, all we're going to do is slap people around while everybody else is solid, willing to punch one right through your jaw. But you're over here talking about FBA this and FBA that. Some Nigerians think they're better than African Americans. Jamaicans think they're better than Haitians. You are no better than all these other ignorant fools out here that think that they're an island unto themselves. That's what they think. I mean, how do you claim something when you can't even justify your own beginnings? You don't even know your own history. You think your history is from a position of lack. Let my people go. You forgot what you were like before the enslavement started. You forgot about the great African empires and leaders. Europe was what ruled by the blackamoors. You forget all that. You go to high school, you go to primary school, you go to high school, you go to college right here in the United States and in Africa, and you don't even get none of this stuff from your professor, from your teacher. In Africa, they tell us Mungo Park discovered the Niger River. Really? So you're telling me there was nobody there till Mungo Park showed up from Europe? The people that were living along the Niger River and fishing and farming, I guess they weren't humans. What were they? Space aliens or something? I mean, what the heck is this? I mean, this is not the first time I've heard about the FBA and all this nonsense talk. And every time we have a show, we always talk about the unification of people of African ancestry. W.E.B. Du Bois talked about it. Frederick Douglass talked about it. George Washington Carver talked about it. Nelson Mandela talked about it. Ahai Onyo had talked about it. Patrice Lumumba talked about it. Marcus Garvey talked about it. Malcolm X talked about it. Even Martin Luther King talked about it. Jomo Kenyatta talked about it. Julius Nyerere talked about it. Sekou Touré talked about it. Nnamdi Azikiwe talked about it. Mbono Jike talked about it. There's a whole lot of dead Africans that gave up the ghost fighting for you in your FBA. You Jamaicans that think you're better than the Haitians and vice versa. You Nigerian South Africa, which is xenophobic nonsense. You forget the Thomas Sankaras and all those people that came before us, and even those people that are right now, people like Ibrahim Traore, unifying, building, getting rid of all these external arguments against the Africans' capability or capacity to self-govern, to understand themselves and chart their own future, their own cause, instead of sitting around here waiting on handouts. Yeah, we are owed reparations, but I'm not sitting around waiting on that and putting all my fellow Africans down because I think they're competing with me for reparations. Because beyond the reparation argument, what argument do you have? What? What, you better than any other? Your experience is better than any other African? You're better than the Jamaican? You're better than the Canadian African? The British black? The Asian black? What makes you think that your suffering was greater than anybody else's? What makes you speak? Who died and made you king to speak for me? Who? This topic and this program is about unifying people of African ancestry under one common cultural focus, economic focus, political focus. Because I'll tell you something, when you listen to the Irish American talk about their Irish culture, it's something to be proud of. When you see and hear the Italian talk about the Italian culture, it's something to admire. The British and their pomposity, I always talk about that. Fighting for the crown. And then they got us even fighting for the bloody crown that just colonized and enslaved us. Now we're fighting for them because whoever has the gold makes the rules. The educational system that we have all been, captured into is sponsored by those people that got the gold and the power. So until you get that kind of power, don't talk to me about FBA. And the only way for you to ever get that kind of power is to unify. And there are a lot of people like Gaddafi and all that lost their lives, the Patrice Lumumba, just to unify fools like us with fools like you. But we're all fools because the foolery is on both sides. You got Africans from the motherland that think they're better than somebody else. Then you got the African Americans that think they're better. You got the Jamaicans that think they're better. You got the British black that think they're better. Everybody thinks they're better than somebody else. You're blacker than this guy. But when people see you, they don't care where you come from. You're just African. You're just black. Whatever you want to call yourself. Hell, you just FBA. It all means nigger, doesn't it? Since you told us you accepted it. You accepted the derogatory word and made it yours. Now that's your contribution to humanity. Because all the crap you guys have been talking about, I haven't heard you talk about one thing that is relevant other than the fact that reparations is really your motivation. You feel a sense of competition. Other Africans are trying to compete with you for reparation. Well, beyond the reparation, what else you got to boast about yourself that no other African accomplished or contributed to civilized behavior? Well, who died and made you king? Who are you speaking for? You're not speaking for all the African Americans. The African Americans that can't stand your opinion, that don't understand that you're just bigoted, divisive, and just promote separation. And you think with that kind of ideology that you yourself, if you're going to survive, you're just going to be a footnote that will spend eternity, perpetual arguments of recognition, as opposed to banding together like a lot of African countries are doing, like a lot of African Americans are doing. I salute people like what's his name? I Show Speed that went to Africa and showed the other side of Africa. Not only the modern side, but actually showed the love that Africans have for African Americans and how we appreciate what the African Americans has contributed to civilized behavior. As a matter of fact, we are just really Johnny-come-latelys in terms of how we influence the world culturally. The first African that tried to influence the world culturally, in my opinion, in terms of African culture, music, stuff, was Miriam Makeba. And after that, there wasn't really much, except for people on the philosophical side, like Ahaya and all those kinds of people. But let's talk about the social contributions of people of African Americans. Man, everything, music, fashion, I mean, you name it, man. The African Americans has contributed in every area of human endeavor to the utmost level, beyond expect. You name it. I can't even start to rattle out the African American inventors and all that. But just to make a long story short, people, this is about unity. This is not about each one of us claiming.
Dibia, listen, this person says just leave FBA, whatever, out of your conversations and stop trying to speak for us. We are our own ethnic group. Listen, buddy.
Yeah, knock yourself
More power to you. You don't tell me whom to talk about.
Thank you.
How and when.
Let's talk about your
now, you don't want to be a part of my conversation. Move along.
Yeah.
But they are African Americans that I have conversations with, that I love dearly. And you don't want to be a part of that. That's okay. It doesn't,
knock yourself out.
Food off my table. Well, we believe very strongly that everybody has the right to be recognized for what they have achieved all over the world, including FBAs, including FCAs, including whatever terminology we're using. The bottom line here is that we as African people, we cannot be our own worst enemies. Because I'm going to tell you something. You keep saying all this delineation and all that. One day you're going to find yourself with the person that you have delineated, and they will not help you.
Yeah, you'll be there begging.
They will not help you because they will remember that you said that they don't matter, that you don't want to be a part of them. Like I said, when I operated group homes, I hired almost 50. It was maybe about 48 African Americans, because to me, they needed jobs. My heart said, you hire them, provide them with employment, which I did, and it gave me such pleasure. They were some of the most wonderful employees I ever had. And so they are those African Americans, and I love them, and I'll continue to honor and respect them. Now, you don't want to be honored and respected. I get it. Fine. Do you
go away.
Go ahead and be or whatever it is that you want to be. We don't quite frankly, we're not interested in anyone who disrespects other Africans.
Thank you.
We don't care for your love. We don't want to be associated with you. So if you're talking about you're delineating us, we don't care. I just want you to know we don't care. We want you to be all that you can be. We want you to be all that you want to be. We want you to be all that and then some, bags of chips or whatever. We want you to be all of that. I have no problems with any African American. I don't. You call yourself whatever you want to call yourself.
They don't read.
Associated with Africans. Like this person said, and this is true. This is what I've been reading. FBA are agents to white supremacy.
Of course they are. That's what I told you.
Confusion and hate among unifying groups. Thank you.
That's how they are. And that's why I don't give them time of day.
I've read about that.
Be nice to them.
I've read about that.
Nice.
I read about that, and I didn't want to just go. I didn't want to just go and go into all of that. But he's right. There are so many of them that I'm reading. That's what they are doing, But they are, and I just want to make this emphatically clear. African Americans, wherever you are, British Africans, wherever you are, we are one. We must respect each other.
Right there,
I'm not saying gang up on anybody. I don't say gang up on whites or gang up on. No, I'm just saying respect each other, because we deserve respect for each other. Because someday we're going to need each other. Who knows when? When I go to vote, I vote for people whose interest will serve my people. The people who I vote for are those who I know are interested in the well-being of Africans. And I don't care if you're FBA or F whatever, as long as you have a need, that's my concern. I want leaders who care about all of us. If you choose not to be a part of us, that's fine. But I will never, ever delineate myself from Black America. I will never do that. Because whether you like it or not,
they're agents of division. That's all
you're
that
part
is.
of me. And
traitors,
so somebody says that so what some of these people don't understand, that there are many, many African Americans living in Africa and they're doing very well. They're enjoying their lives. There are some who don't, they can't cope with the different cultures and all that sort of thing, and they leave, and that's okay. I understand. I don't fault anybody. And there are some Africans who leave America and go back home. There's so many people who stay, so many people who leave. They get their education and they go back home. You see, so there's so many arguments that can be made. But for me, what's important? Yeah, I raised my voice because I wanted some of these individuals to understand. My God, come on, get a grip. Who's teaching you these things?
I don't know what school they're going to, man. This is sad. This FBA thing is such a sad thing. It's one of the saddest things I've ever seen, man.
Yeah, this is so sad. Because when push comes to shove,
I see
an African American. If I've gone to the grocery store and I use my card, I see that maybe an elderly African American. I don't ask him or her, "Are you FBA?" I don't ask that. I see somebody who's in need. I use my card and I pay for the groceries. Ma'am, you didn't have to do that. No, I didn't have to do that, but I wanted to, and I did it. You see what I'm saying? Because when I see my people, whether you're African American or you're Caribbean or wherever I see my people struggle, I want to do something to help. That is my attitude. That's my spiritual attitude. Don't leave your brothers and sisters behind. I don't care who they are. And I'm not going to get caught up in this FBA thing. Now, if you want to do that, that's fine. That's perfectly okay. If that's how you identify who you are, and you want to make sure that you have nothing to do with other Africans, it's up to you. I'm not out here looking for any FBA and say,
I'm sure when the European sees you, they'll say, "Oh, look at them. They're different. They're different from the other Africans. Let me respect them."
Somebody here is talking about, "Oh, you're scammers. You're scammers because you like African Americans." Is that it? Because I say to honor African Americans, that makes me a scammer? I don't even know what they're talking about. But I'm not even showing any more of their rights.
Well, they failed coming on this show. They just failed. That's what they came for, to fail.
The bottom line, my brothers and sisters, whether you call yourself whatever, they have a whole lot of negative
argument.
That's, I don't know what that's supposed to do. You write all that negative stuff. All of a sudden, I'm going to say, now I don't want to be associated with FBAs. No, what is that even? If you're an African American, you're my brother and you're my sister. You can call yourself whatever you want to call yourself. I am not going to delineate myself from you. I don't want your reparation. If that's what you're concerned about, please don't hate me because of that, because I don't want your reparation. It has not been offered. And when it's offered,
I pimped
it all to you. I hope you get it all because you deserve it, because this country was built by African Americans. So by all means, have everything that's coming to you. I want you to be happy, Floriette, like my father used to say. But at the same time, the reality is this, as Diba Yudi has said before, when people see us, they are not really interested in whether you're FBA or you're this or you're that. The same prejudice, the same racism is handed off to all of us. So you can write all the negative things that you want to write. I will pray for you. I will pray that your heart will be changed so that you can see your fellow African people, Black people from the Caribbeans or whatever, as fellow human beings. Because when this ground shakes, when something goes wrong, you're going to look at you're not going to be out there say, "Are you FBI? Come and help me. Are you FBA? Are you FBA? Come and help me. I'm hungry."
Yeah, we'll be looking for FBAs. That's what we'll be looking for.
I will not take anything from you unless you are FBA. Listen. Call yourself what you will. This is one country people have words for everything. People call each other all kinds of names. But I tell you one thing, sooner or later, you will understand that delineating yourself, you're hurting yourself. You're not hurting anybody else, because of the rest of the world, it's working together. Many of us Africans are working with African Americans, and we're doing just fine.
And that's the way it should be. This right here,
yeah,
all of
that's
us.
the way it should be.
All
if
of
the
us.
FBAs don't want to be doing anything with Africans, that's okay. Foundational, if you feel that slavery belongs to you, and you just don't want anybody else
to have anything your slavery,
if they were not descendants of slaves, okay, that's all. And my history goes beyond. My ancestors were enslaved, but my history goes beyond slavery.
Thank you.
And so I'm not going to be just
apparently not for FBA. They don't see themselves beyond slavery. They don't see what came before that. They just see I'm a slave.
Our history, your history, our history goes beyond. It goes beyond what you call it, slavery. Okay. Let me see.
It's almost like a cult of personality at some point. Next thing you know, it's Jim Jones all over the place. I mean, we're trying to unite, and you got people trying to separate, as if the people that are racist against you are going to see you different from anybody else.
They're going to give you money because you hate.
Divided. We divided, we unite. United we fall. I mean, think about that. Divided we unite. United we fall.
God, help us! Really, help us! We need help.
Lord.
Oh my God! I've seen something.
And then somebody says, Africans are not even together in Africa. Yeah, as if the African Americans are together in Africa here. You're FBA. Then you got all the African American groups. Are you together? Don't talk nonsense, and don't open your mouth if you can't think. FBA, CIA, CMR, or whatever. I mean, what are you talking about? Even Europeans are fighting each other, even right now. Arabs don't like each other. Everybody fighting somebody. Even in my own tribe, they ain't getting along. You know, you got the house nigger, you got the field nigger. That's what we're doing over here. I mean, what you talking about? Like if the people, if they see you, the first thing they're going to do is ask you, are you FBA? Oh, you're the good guy. You're the right representative. All this other niggers are just niggers, according to you. Give me a break, man.
Oh my God. Okay. Yeah. Well, I tell you, this person, I don't know who this person is.
Yes.
No, wait a minute. No, I want to address some of these things. They had the audacity to write it. So this one says FBA has nothing to do with Jim Jones or whatever. Why do you want to unite with people that don't want you? Who doesn't want you?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
We're sitting here. We're sitting here talking about honoring and respecting you, and you cussing us out for wanting to do that. I don't understand. Oh my God. You know what? Okay, they've done a number on our brains and it's working. Oh my God.
My brain is gone, man. I'm about to get to that level. I don't want to think like FBA, please. We need to. I don't want to ever have to think that I don't need to unite with other Africans.
We are on code. We are on code. That's why we're boycotting the Asians. Okay, well, boycott the Asians. But why are you boycotting your own African people?
Yeah.
Understand? Because I let African people know. You go and support. I go every day, as often as I can. I go to an African American restaurant. I love so.
That's why 90% of the time is an African American restaurant.
I go and spend my money the hairdresser. Even my nails now. I go to a hairdresser. I make sure that I support African businesses. I get my nails done there. I get the products that I need for my hair care. I go to African American. I'm not boycotting Asian. I am supporting. This is what I'm doing. I'm supporting my people. That's what I'm doing. You can call it whatever you want to call it, but I believe that the money should be given to African people who are trying to do business. That's why I go to African American restaurants. That's why I go to shops that African American,
and we don't ask them if they're FBA first.
I don't ask them, are you FBA? Are you African?
What's wrong with these people?
Are you trying to do business? Here's my money. It's for you.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're FBA, if you're FBI, if you're FB, whatever. What I'm interested in, can I support you? And if I can support you, that's exactly what I'll do. You can call me all the names that I see. They're calling us here. They're calling us everything but the child of God, just because we say African people should support African Americans. I say, you know what? That because when you go online and you hear all this stuff, Africans don't support African Americans and all that.
That's not
now
true.
I see why some of the Africans don't understand. Why do you hate us? We're trying to be supportive, and still we get hated. So just like my brother here said, what's his name? Kalfani said, okay, FBA founder is Tariq Nasheed, a Black American pimp. Okay, well, there you have it. Okay, but there are individuals in the African American community who.
But let me ask you something, Ogele, real quickly.
Yeah.
That name, Rashid, what do you call it?
She says it's Tariq Nasheed.
Okay, is Tariq Nasheed an FBA name, or is that name African?
Maybe it's FBA.
So if you're gonna go FBA all the way. I hope one of you guys, the FBA guys on this thread right now, in this thread, I hope you have an FBA name. Don't have an African name. Keep your FBA name or English name, but don't see the coming of Jesus. All of a sudden, you want to have a name like Tarish, whatever, or Tariq.
You know what, Diba, it's almost time. I want to thank all.
Oh, there he goes. It's an Arabic name. I rest my case.
Oh, okay.
It's not. I thought it's they belong here. What do you mean Arabic name? It should be FBA. Don't claim other people's stuff and then tell me you ain't part of us. But you want to claim my name. You want to claim things that make me Black. But you don't want to be African. You don't want to be anything else. You want to be FBA. Lose me with that ignorant thought.
You know, let me thank everybody for their comments. Thank you for the FBA people who showed up today. Now, at least I know who you are and what you stand for. I really thought that FBA was a very positive thing. And when I started this conversation, I was talking about, you know, that they have the right to seek this and seek that. But the comments here have now opened my eyes about the FBA. They are not really what I thought they are. I really thought these were people who were honorable, people who cared about their African people, their American people. But I see that these are people who believe in division. Division and disseminating misconceptions and ignorance. So, but I'm sure there are some FBAs who are have a little bit more class than what I'm seeing here, and more power to those people. Whatever your reasons for existing, you have that right. And I pray for you to continue to exist as you are. If all the comments on this, in the forum here, makes you happy, you go right along, flourish. But for me and Diba Yudi, we are going to continue to remind our people that you give credit where credit is due. Americans have fought and lost their lives for the benefit of humanity. And because of that, we will continue to honor and respect. Thank you so much for joining us today. And I'm hoping that you will join us again next time, regardless of who you are. We don't care if you're FBA or whatever you are. Feel free to come here and say whatever you want to say, because it does not take my humanity away. I'm concerned about yours, however. Yudi, thank you so very much for being here. And I look forward to seeing you next time. The same thing for all of you. Y'all take care now. Meanwhile, learn to love each other. Learn to love yourselves, most importantly. And so it is. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Say